Hello! Let's talk about the three branches of the government: legislative, executive, and judicial. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why three? Can't it just be one so it's easier? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. But wait, before we dive into this, syempre, I need to season my coffee first. Coffee, sugar, and creamer. Filipino life isn't complete without it. But did you know that coffee is the perfect way to understand the three branches of government? Let's break it down. First up, the legislative department. Legislative comes from the Latin word lex or legis, which means law. So basically, they're the lawmakers. In the Philippines, this power is given to Congress, which is made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives. These are the people we call mambabatas, the ones writing and revising laws. Section 1 of Article 6 of our Constitution says, "The legislative power shall be vested in the Congress of the Philippines, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives." So what do they actually do? Simple. They make laws, like traffic rules, tax laws, health laws. They can repeal or change old laws. They review what laws are needed by the people. Without the legislative branch, our government would have no recipe for running the country. Think of it this way. The legislative branch is like the chef in the kitchen. They decide what ingredients to put together to make the dish. Without the chef, walang recipe, walang ulam. Now that we have the laws or the recipe, who's going to cook and serve the dish? That's the job of the executive department. The word executive comes from the Latin exequi, which means to carry out. So, they are the law enforcers. Section 1 of Article 7 of the Constitution states, "The executive power shall be vested in the President of the Philippines." So, the President is the chief executive. But syempre, he can't do everything alone. That's why we have departments and bureaus like Department of Justice, Department of Education, Department of Health, Department of Agriculture. These are the sub-chefs or assistants in the kitchen. If Congress is the chef writing the recipe, the president and his departments are the cooks who actually prepare the dish. They make sure the food, or the law, is served properly and followed by everyone. Okay, so laws are written, and the president enforces them. But what if someone says, "Wait, that law isn't fair," or "that action is against the Constitution"? That's where the judicial department comes in. The judicial power belongs to the Supreme Court and other lower courts. Their job? Two things. Settle actual controversies involving rights. Check whether government actions are constitutional. This is called judicial review. Basically, the judiciary is like the food critic. The chef made the recipe, the cook served the dish, but the critic checks if the food actually tastes right and follows the rules of cooking. If the dish is spoiled, the critic can say, "Nope, balik sa kusina." Similarly, if a law goes against the Constitution, the courts can declare it unconstitutional. Now here's the million-peso question. Which branch is the most powerful? A. Executive, kasi president siya. B. Legislative, kasi sila gumagawa ng batas. C. Judicial, kasi may judicial supremacy. D. None of the above. If you answer D. None of the above, congratulations! You're right. The truth is, all three are equal. Each has its own role, and none is higher than the other. This is what we call the doctrine of separation of powers. Each branch is supreme in its own area. But wait, if they're equal, how do we make sure no one abuses power? That's where the doctrine of checks and balances comes in. It means each branch has the power to check the other. Like, the president can veto a law, but Congress can override it. The judiciary can declare a law unconstitutional, but Congress can amend the Constitution. It's a system of balance. So, to wrap this up, the legislative branch makes the recipe, laws. The executive branch cooks and serves the food, enforces laws. The judicial branch is the food critic, making sure the dish follows the recipe, interprets laws. Individually, each has power, but together, they create a balance that keeps the government running smoothly. Just like coffee. Too bitter without sugar, too sweet without creamer, too plain without balance. That's why we need all three branches. to keep everything fair, balanced, and complete. If you enjoyed this explanation and learned something new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fun educational videos. Salamat, and see you in the next one.